아, 치열한 눈이에요. 네, 아니. 자, 두 번째 경기는 이제 싱킹 팀이 아마 카운터 칠 수 있는 던전이 아마 아주 치열한 눈이라 생각을 하고 들고 나온 것 같아요. 네. 첫 경기는 림트 팀이 이겼고요. 자, 시작하겠습니다. 다 몰 거예요. 지금 같은 경우 림트 팀 같은 경우 입구 쪽 부식이 싹을 다 몰죠. 그 반면에 이제 싱킹 팀 같은 경우 전형적인 방법으로 몰고 나갑니다. 여기는 한꺼번에 잡을 수 없고 아마 한번 나눠서 잡을 수 있는데요. 입구 쪽을 잡는 팀 같은 경우는 네임드 앞에는 좀 피할 거고 두 팀 다 방법은 같을 수도 있어요.
multiple routes that you can take here, and this first pool going to look relatively similar on both sides.
Yeah, definitely similar for coming
자,
out.
경화,
The thing we have to
그다음에
really focus on in
분노,
this dungeon outside of
충동입니다.
the fortified is not so much the sanguini zucchini, but rather
쫄 잡기가
the
상당히 어려워지는
bolstering. Bolstering is an
옵션이죠.
incredibly
수정
limiting
옵션이에요. 세기
affix. It's
옵션입니다.
just such a pain in the butt for players because every mob that dies,
네임드
every
잡는
trash
데는
mob that
크게
dies
지장이
will
없기
buff
때문에
all surrounding enemies,
쫄에 잡는 데
including
아마 지금 같은 경우
bosses, by
탱커가 지금 도망은
20%
다니죠.
of
이건
current health
아시고요.
and
지금
damage
겁나
as
아파요.
well. So
지금
one of
괜히
the strats
앞에서
that you often
어떤
see,
거다
such as in mob
이거
souls, where
보시면
you kind of pull
아시겠지만
the trash with the boss.
입구
You really
쫄을
can't do
잡은
that here
팀과 안
unless you want to
잡은
put the raid
팀은
boss
차이가
on
나요.
hand.
So one thing that I do want to
네임드
say
앞에는
that's
쫄을
actually
패스를
nice
하죠.
for limit
네임드를 잡고 나서 아마
is the
잡을
fact that they
겁니다.
have preheat. Well,
네임드를 잡고
preheat's
나서
going to
잡을
stop
거예요.
it. So yeah, there we go. Caster curse if I've ever
자,
seen
싱킹
one.
팀이
Maximus
먼저
getting very low
플레이를
there. I don't
했습니다.
even believe
싱킹
Purgatory is
팀이
cracked, but
카운터를
back
들고
down,
나온 던전이
yo-yoing,
아주 잘한
yo-yoing
던전이 아마
back and forth.
Yeah,
좀 더
wage as well.
Yeah,
나은
so that is
방법을
going to be a little bit rough
나은
there. The thing
방법으로
that
아마
Trill also
하겠죠.
going to have to cheat death proc. This is a
자기네들이
really rough
제일
pool for
잘하는
them, and all of a
던전이라
sudden
생각하고
we're seeing
꺼내는
why
거니까
Sinking Ship did
이게
pick this
승부수예요.
map
여기서
very well rehearsed
싱킹
on that
팀이
first pool. They're going to
여기서
pop
이제
their heroes
이겨야
nice and early
3경기를
here,
가니까
right on the Warlord. Main things to note
그
about the
반면에
Warlord, and then I'll get
아직까지도
back to
이제
kind of what I
쫄을
was
잡고
saying
있는
about
게
having that
리미트
mage.
팀
Is
같습니다.
look,
리미트
these
팀
ads are
같은
going to
경우는
come
지금
out.
이 정도
He's going to
플레이를
throw out
한다는
that
거는
giant spear. You saw
아마
the
경기를
RNG
내줄
screen. You
수도
want to make
있다.
sure that
우리는
the
그냥
ads
여기서
eat that,
그냥
know what your team
내주고
does.
3경기
Otherwise,
때
it is
우리가
going to
유리한
be
던전을 선택을 하자.
very,
그것도
very bad
전략이에요.
situation. But the one nice
다
thing about
전략입니다.
actually having a fire mage loot that I was going to say with bolstering is you can get
지금
they
이렇게
die,
아 2데스를
and you can
했네요.
also get out
이미
very
2대 쫄을
even
잡다 2데스를 했기
damage.
때문에
So
아마 많이
a lot of the
찢어지고
times you see Dr. J do it a lot. They're
그
able to
반면에
just get out
싱킹 팀
this
같은 아주
even damage.
자연스럽게
They're
아주
still able
가고
to do
있어요.
their full AOE potential and kind of work around bolstering. But ultimately, if you die, you can't do that so well.
Right, you are. Sinking Ship actually just about to finish Parjas here right now. They're a well bit ahead of Limit. And of course, having more trash
무난하게
percentage
가네요.
under the belt. They do have to
근데
release
이제
trash
그 반면에
packs
림트 팀
separately
같은
because we just
경우에는
discussed the
이미
kind of
데스를 했기
unfortunate,
때문에
consequences of bolstering on
아직
bosses.
1렘을
They'll
아직
have to deal with that
잡지도
4-pack
못했어요.
first.
이 정도면
While
그냥
Sinking Ship
내주는
is already done with the
그냥 제
boss,
생각에 하면은 이
clearing up to do a
정도면은
pretty big pull. Now, we've
전략적으로
seen this
내줄 것
pull here
같아요.
in the
무리하지
UA dungeons
않고
this tournament. Some of the teams really
그냥
have a lot of
즐겜
strong
하듯이
with it. There's gonna
그냥
be, I believe, about 10,
그냥
6
할
to 10
것
mobs being
같고요.
pulled here. All AOE grip to the middle and
이
just
정도
cleave
시간 차이라
down.
그러면
Limit, of course,
이
did
정도면
struggle
시간
with an
차이가 되게 많이
over-bolstered
납니다.
mob when the
1렘을
Naga
아직
take a
잡았는데
while
못
to
잡았는데
cleave down. They haven't even started on that first boss. Sinking Ship
대부분
already
카운터
dealing
들고
with the
나온 팀이
second pull after,
상대적으로
which I do
유리해요.
expect that they'll kind of
자신
rear around to the
있는
right
던전이에요.
where the camera angle is right
그
now. and head over
조합까지
to
다
Lady
짜져서
Gateway already.
Yeah, I
따져서
mean, they've been
선택을
steering their
했을
ship
거니까
very well here. I will say
싱팀 당연히
that
유리하겠죠.
this is almost similar to what we saw in the
그
first map, but a
반면에
lot
이제
more devastating for the side
리미티드
of
팀
Limit.
같은
It was that
경우에는
one trash pull that allowed a team to pull ahead. The
방어하는
question
입장이죠. 지금
is
1승을 했기
Limit
때문에
going to
뭐
be able to
1경기에
keep it to
승리했기
that one
때문에
mistake,
어차피
and will they be
이
able to
경기는
correct
어떻게
it?
약간
Once
불리하게
again,
시작하는 걸
it
맞아요.
seems like obviously they are in that smaller portion of the screen, but it seems like they're going to have a really bolstered.
이렇게 그래도 차근하게
they
가면 언젠가는
okay, they're actually on the
역전할
boss right now. Yeah, but
전에도
the thing
그랬어요.
is that
유럽
just
팀할 때
having those really
상대팀이
tough
유리한 던전을
bolstering
들고 나왔는데도
situations
역전을
has already
하더라고요.
been the problem for
상대팀
them.
실수를 해서
I
너무
mean, you saw
무리해서
their
하다
Sinking Ship too. They had 3 warriors kind of slowly going towards them as the tank idled already started to kind of kite away because they just do so much damage. And it's funny, here we sit, you know, a lot of people saying that there's not going to be warrior representation. We just saw 3 of them on the screen right now in the MDI, so great to see some class representation going on in this tournament. Sinking Ship does down that trash pack well and now
싱킹 십
moves
같은
over
경우에는
to these
이제
Arcanists. Now, you do have to kill 2 of them in order to have
또
access to the
갑자기
next
따랐죠.
boss, Lady
아마
Hatecoil, after
이거
which
지금
some teams actually
달팽이한테
opt
그거
to go
맞은
kill
거예요.
Sir Petrix first
뒷면에
and then
있으면은
backtrack
뒷면과
towards
옆면에
Lady Hatecoil in
있으면은
order to
저
not have to deal with the
스킬에
dreaded
피가
seagulls
진짜
on
엄청나게
that
많이
boss.
닿습니다.
We've seen
그래서
quite a
뒤에서
few
지금
different
보시면
things come
달팽이가
out. I'm
세
actually
방향으로
curious
뿌리지
here
않아요.
which route they
저기에
do take. Do
맞으면
they try
진짜
to get
엄청나게
rid
피가
of
많이
the
달아요.
seagulls? The other thing is you work around heroism in a different way, so you can kind of change your timings for that massive buff. Some like to call it bloodlust, some like to call it the right name.
Which is ironic
리미트
because
팀
they
같은 게
actually
지금
don't
이제
have
1렘을 잡았고요.
bloodlust or heroism on this team as far as I can see. So they're likely using drums of the mountain or drums of fury.
So neither of the
리미트 팀
abilities.
같은 게 여기서 점프를 한다고?
Let's go with that.
But they can grab drums. There's a vendor in town.
독특하네요.
Not
이게
too
뭐지?
much of a problem for them.
저
as they
뭐지?
get this
저
other
스킬은
pull
뭐지?
going, but Sinking Ship,
저 스킬은 뭐야?
let's be honest, they
저런 게
haven't
있어?
really made too much of a mistake
어?
yet. You can even see just very, very handily not creating a
처음 보는데요.
sanguine
저거
panini. They're
그거
not going to
아닌가요?
have any of the mobs
깃털
getting caught in
흑막
between
뭐야
there,
복사가
getting healed
깃털
up at
준
all.
건가?
Sinking ship already
좀
potentially
독특한데?
getting this last pull in before
독특하네요.
they go
예.
to the second boss
처음
or head
봤습니다.
over to Serpendrix. We'll have to see. And I honestly, this is one of the teams where, as we see their strategy,
여기서
I'm
달고
going to
가네요.
take it
예.
very seriously as a rehearsed strategy and kind of
듣기는 여기서 달고
glean a little
갑니다.
bit of information from that. The same that we did from that method EU strat, because they kept picking it over and
두
over.
팀 다
again. It was a
공략이 좀
statement
달라요.
map for
예.
them. Will it be a
좀
statement
독특하긴
map
하네요.
for
유럽
Sinking Ship?
전에 봤던
A lot of
그런
little
식이
goos coming in
아니라
for
약간
Sinking
비슷하지만
Ship, and this
팀
is a lot
다
of the trash
스타일이
between
달라요.
this and Lady
많이
Hate
다르요.
Coil, and we're going to see towards Serpentrix as well, where the trash, especially with Sanguine, is really going to be, Sanguini Christini is really going to be quite a problematic, pull for them. There's a lot of casters. The Hydra kind of parks a lot of the time, that we'll see later, and cast inside of Sanguine. Sanguine, of course, jokes aside for those at home, it does heal
시작은
mobs that
싱킹십이
sit within
먼저
those pools.
시작을
They
할
do
거거든요.
stack, and of course also
아무래도
damages players. So
먼저
any mob that's kind of caught in there
잡고
casting
있으니까.
or hard
지금
casting,
같은
something you
경우에는
can't
아마
do,
리미트
interrupt
팀도
with just a normal
리베스를
kick, will
했지만
just end up sitting there healing. But
아직까지
because
기회는
they have
있어요.
bolstering
기회는
kind of
있습니다.
working in favor of that Sanguine, if all mobs are dying at around the same time, they shouldn't have too many troubles with it, Rich.
Oh wow, another
Little
cheat death
snail
going to be
goo in
procced
front
here.
there.
Yeah, that's honestly one of the scariest things that's probably happened to
아마
Sinking Ship.
팀 다 아마
And they're going to have that get
패스할
out of
수
jail
있는
free
구간이
card
많기
in
때문에
cheat
아마
death.
여기서
But
작업을
the
많이
other
할
thing
거예요.
I will
이거를
mention
많이
with
잡아서
Sanguine on this
퍼센트를 채운
particular
다음에
map,
92%
for the
정도까지
most
채운 다음에
part,
아마
in most of the areas, it's
넘어갈
not super
거예요.
dangerous
3렘
because
쪽으로.
of how much
3렘 쪽으로
space you have.
넘어갈
I mean,
거예요.
look at how
4렘
much
쪽으로
they can
넘어갈
just
거예요.
run. You can drop those puddles of
벽 넘어서
badness
넘어갈
wherever
겁니다.
you want.
벽을
You're not
넘어서.
really going to have to run into them again. Where it
누가 있는
can
팀 같은
start
경우는
to get
좀
a
더
little
편하게
bit sketchy
넘어갈
is when you
수 있고
actually
도적이
move
있어도
over to
상관없고.
Serpendrix. But they decide to do Hate Coil first here, which is a strategy that we've
두
been
팀
seeing
다
more and
벽타기를 할
more.
겁니다.
And
100%.
instantly, right out of the gates, we're going to see
자,
that massive
싱킹
rogue
시스템은
damage
시작을
coming
했습니다.
out. And once
이네임들을
these
시작을
ads
했고.
come out again, he's going to be able to
리미트
get
팀도
even
많이
bigger
따라왔어요.
damage, going to
많이
be able to use all
따라왔습니다.
those ads to create combo points and
아직
get
몰라 이
finishers right to
정도면요.
Lady Hate Coil.
만약에
Team doing well to
싱킹
stand on
시스템이
the islands there for a static shock,
전면에
which of
아니면
course if
실수를
you're
하게
caught in the
되면
water during that,
리미트
it is
팀들
probably
같은
pretty lethal, and
경우에는
if it doesn't kill you, you will
충분히
get
따라갈
stunned for a
수가 있어요.
substantial amount of time, needing that dispel. Rich, as you alluded to, the little globules do come out. They opt to keep them alive. You can actually
시작하겠죠,
one-shot them with the
리미트
frontal
팀도.
curse that goes out on players, but it will also blow away any of the islands on the ground. Tettle's doing well there to eat one of those tornadoes that also blows the islands away and immediately skull
경기를
bash
보면서 제가
over
느낀
to
건데
Lady Hate Coil.
램드
Charge,
앞에서
excuse me, I'll
우리는
charge over
되게
to
많이
Lady Hate Coil.
약간
Getting ready to
하죠.
hide
근데
on the
대회
island
나올
again for the
팀들 보면
next Nova, while
되게
Rose
바로바로
is getting
시작을 해요.
so
진짜
many
빨리
free combo
시작해요.
points
탐하고
from
뭐
those globules
톡이
that are
그런 거
staying
계산 안
alive.
하고
Look, everybody on
이
their
팀들은 그냥
squad
바로
gets
시작을
something out of those globules, to be honest. Every single one of their DPS. The Warlock's going to be able to put agonies all over the place, which is going to create more shards, which mean more unstable afflictions right onto Lady Hate Coil, which is going to be
싱킹 팀 같은
majority of the
경우에
Warlock's
15%밖에
damage.
안
If the
남았고요.
Monk really wants to, the Monk
리미트
can
팀도
cleave
되게
and
빨리
actually
잡고
get
있어요.
stacks
지금
built
이제
up
40%
and
깠어요.
can spin to win a little bit. Not necessarily the path I think the Monk
이
chose to
정도면
do
아까
there,
내
which seems
1렘에서
right.
시간이
Definitely
차이 나는
not
걸
a
많이
Monk
줄였다
expert,
생각해요.
but I am the best Warlock in all of the land. And we are going to see
어차피
Sinking Ship
3렘을
able to
가기
pull down this
위해서는
boss
작업을 해야
without
될
too
구간이
much
되게
of a
많아요.
problem.
쫄도 잡아야
Once again,
되고
they just
몰아
look
잡는
perfect
가기
here
위해서
so far.
조금이라도 빨리
The
법사가
scariest
있는
thing that
화법이 있는
happened
팀이 아마
is
좀
the
더
cheat death
유리할
being
수도
procced
있어요. 이게.
on that previous trash
여기서
pool.
몰아 잡을
Keep
때는
your eyes on
가요.
the road. Going to be
그러니까 여기서
somewhat of a
충분히
susceptible target until that is
뭐
off.
시간을 볼 수
Yeah, I mean,
있는
those
방법도
snails are
있고
really dangerous.
시간을
They move at top
벌릴
gun
수 있는
speed, and
방법과
it's just
좁힐 수 있는
impossible to
방법을
see where
충분히
they're
있다.
coming
이
from
기회가
and
있어요.
just the direction they're hitting in. So, kudos to the Rogue for managing not to get one shot by that, because the cheetah did save him there. Sinking Ship now pulling some of the crabs along with the Hydra. Hydra, a very dangerous mob in this instance. Does a lot of these frontal casts with area denial on the ground, but also does just an off GCD spike
리미트
nature
팀
hit
같은
on the
경우는 좀 더
tank.
빨리
Want to
잡아야
be
되죠.
careful with
기회를
that, and they're
얻으려고.
doing well to kill that first and start moving the
왜냐면
rest of the crabs away, because as we said earlier,
쫄을
Rich, you don't
지금
want to spawn
싱킹
that
같은
Sanguini
경우에는
Panini under the boss, under the Hydra.
Yeah, so
왜
Sanguini
안
Panini
몰아서
is
안
also
잡지?
something to think about, but when we're talking about
독특하네요.
affixes,
이들만의
this is one
방법이
of the
있는가
particular
봐요.
ones where you have to pull
일반적이라면
awkwardly.
거의
You
몰아서
can't get
쭉
these
달릴
massive
거예요.
pulls going for a lot of reasons, and when you look at these crabs and then you compare them to some of the bigger ads, they just have very different health pools,
뭘
which is going to
기다리는 거지?
affect how you can really
큰 놈이
AoE
오길
during
기다리는
bolstering.
건가?
So a pool like this, the question is how do
이
you want to
정도
do it? Most
몰아서는
likely
의미가
they're going to be
없는데 더
focusing
몰아야
a
돼.
lot of their damage
많이
right
몰아야
now onto that hard shell, onto the big crab, and then just kind of deal
아마
with the
아마
consequences. You
경화
can see that focus
분노를
damage goes out.
하더라도 더
These little
몰아야 돼.
crabs can be bolstered, but only slightly. It's only one stack. If you do it the other way around, all of a sudden you are
이러면
in for a
상대팀이
world
더
hurt.
몰게
And by
되면은
killing,
더
of course,
유리해져요.
Lady Hate Coil
어차피
first, we do
몰아서
see
잡는
that those
구간이기
seagulls have
때문에
now become land
이거는
gulls and
누가 더
landed down near
몰아잡느가
the boss.
이득이죠.
Something that the reason
근데
these
만약에
are so much made fun of
3팀보다 좀
and kind
적게
of
몰게
feared
몰아잡게
really is
되면
that
뒤에
once you pull them, they're not particularly
시간이
devastating in
걸리지
terms of
못하고
damage
쫓겨지게
output,
되고
but they
있기
will
때문에
occasionally disorient their current target, oftentimes being the tank. And as soon as the tank gets disoriented, it drops all aggro for the duration of that disorient. So likely an unfortunate, I don't know, let's say Windwalker will get smacked in the face
상대팀보다
and
좀 더
die as a
몰아잡으면
result. So
당연히
teams, if they
이득이잖아요.
pull it, especially with a bigger pull like this, will
이런
often
데서
try to
대부분 시간
have,
차이 별로 안
let's say,
나면
the
우리를
healer
흔들어
taunt off,
수비를 던져야
make sure sure that that seagull is actually disorienting any non-tank, while the tank safely tanks everything else.
Yeah, it's a very important thing to pay attention to.
22단 아기 같은 뭐 아즈 같은
future
경우에는
ethics in the game.
글로벌로
I
다녀도
would just love
충분히
seagulls in
2상도
every
할 수
dungeon.
있는 던전이기
Nice.
때문에 2상
Now
1상도
we are
할
going to see them move
때문에
through this
공략만
pool
잘
once
알면
again. You got another big
여기는
mob that you gotta get
어떻게
focused
몰아잡냐에
down,
따라
and you're gonna
차이가
see
많이
that
납니다.
three-headed
도타기를
beast
할 수 있냐
fall to the
없냐에 따라
ground
차이가
before
나고
these other smaller crabs, and now
도타기를 못하게
just
되면요
cleaning up
시간을
that
되게 많이
seafood
허비게 되면
buffet.
게임 둘러가야 되겠다.
Looks
게임
delicious.
둘러가는
Actually,
시간이
wants some
되게
sushi
많이
right now.
걸려요.
Limit, I believe they had 2 deaths last time we looked over, and I think they've accrued an extra one. Fortunately, we did just peek over, so might have
아마
missed
여기서
that. But
90 몇
nonetheless,
프로까지
they do
채우고 갈
have
겁니다.
3 deaths on
제가
the board.
다
15
몰죠.
second difference between
싱킹
the
같은
teams
경우에는
in terms
미리
of that
작업을 하는
sinking
것
ship.
같아요.
Finishing
미리
up some of
쫄보도
the
잡자
remaining
우리.
trash. Want to get as
쫄보도
much
잡자.
out as
그리고 나서
possible
보스
so that
잡고
they can
나서
do
바로
the ship
도타기를
skip,
하자.
which
자,
they
이럴
don't have
것
really
같아요.
an ideal comp for, but I think they should be able to pull it off. Of course, with that resto druid.
근데 이렇게
But, you know, they
몰아가면
don't have
시간
an
너무
extra demon
걸리는데
hunter
왜
to help
이렇게
with
한
that, so
번씩
it's really
잡고
going to be
더
one
몰아야죠.
person at least to start with ferrying
더
them
몰아야
over, which is
됩니다.
why you're seeing
더 몰아야
so
돼요.
much extra trash in this zone being pulled by sinking ship right now. They'll likely focus most of their damage here on the Hydra one more time, making sure that a lot of those sanguine pools don't spawn under.
리미티드 팀 같은 경우에는 상부를 던져야 돼요. 여기서 더 몰아서 잡든지 상대 팀도 더 몰아서 잡든지 그래 방법이 없어요.
Already pretty much done with trash for the
시간을
dungeon.
좁힐 수 있는 방법은
Because
여기서밖에 없어.
you get down after you actually you do that ship skip. You go up, you kill that fourth boss, and then when you come down, you only have to kill those casters around, and that's going to be a whopping percentage.
It gives, of course, 8%. Yeah, about 2% per caster. So as long as you're
92%
being around that
맞출 거예요.
92% mark for
92%
sinking
정도
ship,
맞출 겁니다.
which might be just shy because some teams do have to kind of keep that snail on the side in King Deepbeard's room, making sure to get that extra damage. You see that Warlock kind of multi-dotting that. They do start to head over now to Serpentrix, a 3-phase boss.
92%
Phase
맞출 거라
1 occurs
생각했는데
at
아마
every
가는 길에 있는
100%, of
몹을
course, that
잡으려고
is
그러나?
66 and 33%. He will
가야
submerge,
되겠네요.
spawning 2 extra
자,
heads,
싱킹 같은
1
경우는
arcane
지금
head and 1
상대방들
firehead. The
뚫고
firehead will just
시작했습니다.
pulse for static damage on the group, while the
아직까지
arcane
이제
head
리미티드 팀
will get an
같은 경우는
increasing
작업을 하고
damage,
있고요.
a single
아직까지
target
많이
cast
조정을
on
돼요.
one of the players. Really important to silence and
반면에
interrupt that,
싱킹 같은
else one
경우는
player will eventually get one
작업을
shot.
거의
Rich, it is pretty
상태로
common for teams as well at
상대방을
that
잡고 나서
33%
아마
mark to actually just kind of
뚫을
CC, silence the heads, and just go and kill the boss because they will
그건
despawn
두고
once
봅시다.
Serpentrix dies.
Yeah, that's an important thing to note too, and it also does allow
야,
you to
흑마를
get a
보세요.
huge
이제
burst of
바닥 안
damage on
펴니다.
your primary
나는
target. We
그걸
talked about
모른다죠.
how a lot
그게
of these
좋아요.
classes
왜냐면
that we saw on the side of Sinking
자일량이
Ship
딜을
were able to
하면서
fully
자일량이
utilize the
좋기 때문에
globules to create extra damage on
흑마는
Hayquil.
저런
You
게
get a
좋아요.
similar thing going with the
보통
Warlock with
클래스
these
같은
extra
경우는
heads, and
바닥을
instantly you
피하거나
can
뭐
see those
그래야
dots
되는데
going up.
흑마는
Wants to make sure to
그렇게
kill them
없어요.
now. You
왜냐면
can't leave them up for
바닥이라면
too
저희가
long. When Serpentrix is at the
킬을
50% mark,
할 수
they get
있으니까
that arcane down
그것도
first. You don't want that
딜이
damage to
들어가면서
stack up. Then you're going to be able to
뭐
get that
자생을
red
할 수
head
있는
down
거죠.
without
지금같이
too
이게 빨대
much of
꽂으면
a problem.
웬만해가지고는
Another set should
바닥을 안
come
피해도
up
돼.
here, and then
지금
probably just going
피했네요.
to see them get dotted up, and all of that damage be focused on Serpentrix.
Good camera here of Bum Bum right now as he pours all his UAs into the boss. Limit substantially behind at this point. They're 21% behind on trash. That was some quick maths right there. They do have the 3 deaths on the board. Serpentrix hasn't even entered the
보시면
first
거의
transition
모든
phases.
클래스가
We're already
브렐이에요.
seeing
예,
sinking
블러드
ship
F
work on the
그건
second phase right
아시겠죠?
here.
예,
They're
비격
playing it safe. They're opting to
몰이
kill
사냥을 하기
the remaining
위해서는
heads
예,
before
차단이라는
getting
게
back on
엄청나게
Serpentrix.
필요하기
Don't want to
때문에
risk any
거의
extra
모든
death,
클래스가 다
having to
블러드 F입니다.
accidentally mess up any of that CC, nothing like that. So downing the 2 heads even in this fortified setting, after
국민팀은
which they will
신기보다
reconvene
헤드도
on
거의
Serpentrix,
반반씩
finishing
나왔어요.
the boss, and then they're going to head
유럽팀 같은
over for that
경우에는
boat skip.
거의 올
Lots of head
90%
misses.
이상이
But one of the main things
신기였는데
that I do want to note
지금 같은 국민팀
is
같은 경우에는
this seems
조합이
to
좀
be
다양하게
like
나와요.
such a good pocket pick. We saw it come out of Method. Not a lot of teams
신기를
are
하게 되면은 블러드 F를 한 명을
Limit,
더 추가할
they
수
look lights
있으니까
out. We
차단할
said
수
third best
있는
time for
하나
Muscles.
스킬 더
Now
추가가
they
되는
get
거죠.
here into this dungeon,
헤드를 쓰게
and
되면은
they've
뭐
had these little
헤드도 생존력이
mistakes that
좋고
come
뭐
from
실드
not
좋고
having
다
that
하지만
perfect rehearsal.
신기보다
And we're
좋지
seeing
않아요.
Sinking Ship look just absolutely lights out. They even get
자,
this little
싱킹
trash
같은
pool with
경우는
the
이제
crabs at the
3렘을
end there
킬했고요.
while they're
아마
working on the
작업을 할
boss.
겁니다.
We said they want to hit that 92% mark. The 2% going to
작업을
be
할
that
거예요.
tricky little thing
한 마리
here,
정도
and
더
most
잡아야 될
likely
거야, 아마.
they're not going to be able to get it
헤드가
to officially
헤드에
unless
지금
they
누가
do go
탔죠?
for something like that snail.
헤드는
I think it will be that snail, but
약효를
I mean, you're absolutely right. We
벤시랑
do see
상태로
the
점프를 하게
mage's
되면은
bloodlust come out
벽을
here
넘기가
for
상당히
Limit right now
편합니다.
as they opt to go for the strategy of killing Serpentrix and leaving the remaining 2 set of heads intact, just trying to get as much damage out as they can.
자, 보셨죠?
That
정말
was well
이제
done.
배달을 할
Sinking
거예요.
ship,
다
just moving
도적은
up so
아마
quickly for this
저기서
boat skip right now. We
여기다
often see players kind of struggle
관물 타네요.
with, you know,
역시
just
흑마가
honestly
있으니까
picking the
좋네.
side of that cliff as soon as you
흑마가
jump
있으니까
up.
좋아.
Everybody
예.
is up first priority. Excellent Warlock portal being put down. Sinking ship now runs over, getting ready to
벽타기를 안 되면은 거의 벽타기를 하는 팀과 안 하는 팀은 어마어마하게 차이가 많아요. 차이가 되게 많이 나요 지금. 벽타기를 안 하고 그 동굴로에서 지나온다 생각을 해보세요. 쫄 잡아야 되죠. 안 잡아야 될 쫄 잡아야 되죠. 가는 시간이 되게 길죠. 또 입구에 있는 쫄도 패스를 해야 되죠. 그 반면에 벽타기는 바로 오죠. 얼마나 차이가
Wee Snail just moving along, but the main thing is here is how many UAs have you already seen got cast? It's just free soul shards that are going to be coming straight into this Warlock's pocket, and he can just put them all in. Tettle's here getting very low. Tettle's actually going to drop. They do have battle reses to get him up.
그 반면에 아직까지 리미트 팀 같은 경우에는 아직까지 작업을 해야 돼. 왜냐면 퍼센트가 모자라서.
But ultimately with 44%, are they thinking about holding here?
아마 지금 같은 경우는 신경 10팀 같은 경우
신기가 sketchy call because there will be some residual damage coming from the Quake cast initially. Players will need to move out of that Quake afterwards to make sure that the 5 seconds when Aftershock is cast does not.
왜 전발이 안 들어가지?
Yeah, I mean this is risky. This is really risky right now unless they're having some own issues on their end. But right now, I mean they're just praying for that consumption every 45 seconds and whatever self-healing. We do know Warlocks are particularly durable. Rogue's not bad either. The Windwalker is the one we'll have to keep an eye on. As the bubble does come out on that Windwalker, wants to make sure to get as much of that damage shoot through the bubble. You see those debuffs popping in and off the player screen as he runs through these kind of water rings, making sure that he depletes a lot of the damage intake on that. The DK should have no problem staying alive, and they'll hopefully be able to use that consumption to just keep everyone intact. And it looks like they are. I mean, the boss is already at 5%.
I honestly, I'm going to be completely honest. I think pulling up Tettle's here, that's what you didn't want to see.
Yeah.
You did not
야,
want to see that.
도적 같은 게 이제 구사까지
That's actually
터졌어요.
a bigger resource in my mind than that extra battle res is going to be going into this last boss, just where they're at. I'm going to assume something happened as far as connection is concerned with Tettle's, because there's pretty much no other reason for it to happen. But you know what? It wasn't caused by connection. We see a death go down on the side of Limit. This is going to be their 4th death right now, and this is going to be a doozy. They're falling so far behind, and I got to bring up a sinking ship. Even with whatever happened with their healer, they still have maximum DPS on this boss. They may have one of the best times that we've seen in this dungeon so far.
100% 검가를 들고 나올
Even
겁니다.
down to just that little ship skip, to how they pulled the snail to
무리해서
get
하지
extra
말자.
damage out on the
무리해서
boss,
하지
to
말고
get that
체력을
final
안
2%. They look flawless
그
here.
반면에
so
이제
you see that beautiful 92% coming in for these last mobs.
무조건 이겨야 되니까. 그래서 이제 카운터 칠 수 있는 전제를 갖고 왔는데 아시잖아요. 무조건 이겨야 되죠. 자기네도 유리한 전제 들고 나왔는데 여기서 이제 지면 말이 안 되죠. 전형적으로 신기 시스템 같은 경우에는 그 반면에 한번 보세요. 리미트 팀 같은 경우는 분명히 벽타기를 할 수 있는데도 일부러 벽타기를 안 하는 거예요. 딱 봐도 이게 그냥 내주는 경기예요. 자기네들 100% 이미 1렘에서도 경기가 기울었다 생각을 했고 어차피 이 경기는 우리가 내주는 경기라고 생각을 하는 거예요. 그러니까 벽타기를 안 하고 그냥 동굴로 들어가죠. 보시면 아시겠지만 동굴로 들어가면은 그냥 게임 끝났다 보시면 됩니다. 한 팀은 벽타기를 했고 한 팀은 동굴로 들어간다 그러면 거의 거기서 시간을 계속 이길 수가 없어요. 이건 거의 그냥 질 게임이죠. 그냥 우리 여기 주차하러 왔다 그런 느낌이. 만약에 신경식 팀이 여기서 전멸 2번 해. 그러면 이런 식으로 경기를 되게 많이 하더라고요. 200전도 할때 상대팀이 유리한 전제를 들고면 바로 경기를 거의 포기하다시피 경기를 하더라고요. 되게 그냥 즐겨 하듯이 막 느긋하게 막 하더라고요.
At this point, but Eye of Ashara is going to be the last thing that stands between them and victory. And the Wrath of Ashara, the main thing to note, starts at 20%. So there are a lot of cheeky little things that you can do to permanently stay and execute. Warlock does have the option of going for that, playing Death's Embrace. Not sure if the Warlock will. We'll see it pretty quickly depending on where the damage does fall, and you can see a lot of damage coming out. So maybe actually spec into that would be like 35% increased damage coming out from the Warlock. But the other things that we need to know are going to be these mechanics that need to be dispelled.
Yeah, so no bear form from Tettles there. Trust the rest of the group, knows the damage intake on that 22 for that split damage, physical damage that we saw in the group. And just like that, I mean, in the blink of an eye, we're already hitting the 10% or halfway mark on this boss. Once that happened, he actually increases the intensity of the storms around the area, calls down the rains in Africa, and makes sure that the players really have a tough time getting a lot of that space that they need
해야
with the
돼요.
damage.
밑에
You have
내려가
that huge
아직까지
tank AoE
85%이기
frontal
때문에
that the
몇 마리
players
또
need to
잡아야
avoid.
돼.
You have
네
the
마리
Area Denial
포함해서 또
that people
잡아야
need to
돼.
group in on one of the range, or
그냥
actually one of the players'
내주는
period and
딱
want
봐도
to make
내리는
sure you
경기죠.
get that damage in. But I mean,
공략적으로
they're just
자기네들은
dealing with
우린
all these
치를
mechanics
감당하겠다.
perfectly. Only had that one death on the healer, and
비매너가
they're just
아니고
going to be able
공략이에요.
to easily
이건
tie up the
전술이
series, Rich.
I mean, they also make that Wrath of Ajara fight look like just about the quickest thing that you could imagine, and limit only on King Deepbeard. Now, I believe they didn't even do the ship skip. They just went and they moved through that cave, did it basically just following the layout, and that's just not going to be quick enough because ultimately it is sinking ship.
제
with
생각에
only that
100%
one
다음
death
경기는
coming in here
건강합니다.
and near
100%
perfect
건가요.
run
왜냐면
through
리미트
this
팀이
Eye of
법사가
Ashara.
있기 때문에
Potentially the best time that we've
기법을
seen.
바꿔서
Looks like
건가
it's going to
100%
be
갑니다.
19
100%
minutes.
갑니다.
Yeah,
이 두 번째 경기는
Just to add
신킹시 팀이
kind of some
이겼습니다.
salt in the wound there, but I mean, really dominant performance from